Welcome. This class is for second sem philosophy honors. This will be in English version. Today I will talk about George Berkeley. If you don't see the board at the time of seeing the video, you just you can zoom the screen and then you will be able to see the writings because I don't have any other way to enlarge it. Okay. Hope you will adjust that. So in your syllabus you will see that Berkeley is there, and that is my part, and today I will talk about George Berkeley, and today's lecture would focus on the philosophical theories of Berkeley, but today it will be the glimpse only of his philosophical issues or theories, and in my later videos or in my next videos I will explain in details. So let's start. The full name of George Berkeley is Bishop George Berkeley. This bishop is a title. The title was given to him. Afterward, I will explain it, and this is very much important. That bishop, why it is so important for Berkeley. I will discuss one by one that. He was born on 12 March in 1685 and he was died on 14 January 1753. So his tenure was from 1685 to 1753. He was Anglo-Indian philosopher. His parents were Irish but his ancestors were British, and so he was called Anglo-Indian and philosopher. He is a great philosopher. He was a great thinker, I must say. And he was born in Ireland, in the city, the name of the city where he was born in Kilkenny. He had completed his schooling from that Kilkenny school, and then he moved to Trinity College. There in 1704 he got his BA degrees from that Trinity College only, and after completing the studies, he was selected there first as a fellow, and then he was again selected as a tutor, and he was teaching there for 13 years. At that time, he had written several books, a lot of books. I have mentioned here two most influential books of him. One is Treatise Concerning the Principle of Human Knowledge, and another one is Three Dialogues between Hylas and Philonas. So, but those books which he had written at young age were much more influential than his earlier writings or later writings or later books. So now if we go to his childhood or the background of his life, so we will be able to see that he, at that time when he was teaching at Trinity College, he wanted to establish or wanted to set up a college in the Bermuda Island in America. And the aim of Berkeley of doing this was to educate the Negro people out there, and there were some people, ancient inhabitants of America, and Berkeley wanted to educate them with Christian knowledge. That means he was a Christian. He wanted to spread Christianity among them, and that time those people were very much happy because Berkeley wanted to set up a college, and they also, the people out there also wanted to have a college, and Berkeley was very happy because for this purpose he went to London, and for some economical help from British government, and that time British government also promised to give him 20,000 pounds so that he can easily set up that college. But he saw that the government was not giving the money on time, and after some years he started thinking that he would not get that money anymore. Better to give up this plan and doing something else. So what he did then, that time again he has written several books that time, but after some years he was selected as bishop, that I said earlier. He was selected as Bishop of Cloyne in South Ireland. When he was selected as bishop, he took that position and he spent rest of the life for doing that or serving that post. Okay, so he was the bishop of that Cloyne. So to him, now you can understand that to him Christianity was much more important, huh? As he was the bishop, he wanted to spread the Christianity among people. That's why only he wanted to open that college. Anyway, then what happened? There is a story, not story, it's a real life story, that one day Berkeley, at the age of when he died near about 1751 or 1752, he was just sitting in a garden with his wife, and he was having a cup of tea with his wife. But when he just finished the tea, no one noticed that he got heart attack and he died at that place only. When his daughter was also there, and his daughter wanted to offer another cup of tea. That time she noticed that his father was no more. Then on 17, that was the date was 14 January in 1753, he just died. Okay, now let's move to his philosophical theories, because that only we have to learn here, we have to know. So today I'll discuss about immaterialism, which he advocated, or subjective idealism. Immaterialism leads to subjective idealism. So these two terms are more or less same: immaterialism or subjective idealism. And to establish his theory that immaterialism, from this name you can understand immaterialism means he was against matters. Matters, that means he did not accept the existence of matters or material world. So to do this, or to establish the immaterialism, what he did, he just denied the existence of substance. Now the question is what the material substances are, or I ask you a question, what is a material substance? Then you would say that whatever we see around us, that may be a pen, a table, a chair, a computer, everything that we see around us are material substances. Now Berkeley has said that these material substances have no existence independent of our mind. That is, if our mind do not consider them as objects, if our mind do not see them, if our mind do not recognize them, then these material things or material substances do not have any existence. That means, according to Berkeley, mind is powerful, mind is everything, mind is there to recognize things, mind is there to give them value. Okay, so in his theory of immaterialism, he just denied the outer world, the world which exists, which we think that exists independent of us, independent our mind, that the outer world, the nature, the art, the sun, the moon, everything that Berkeley did not want to accept. Berkeley clearly told that as we see, they are there. Okay, as we see, they have existence. If we don't see, they don't have any existence. That means, what is more important? More important is human mind, our mind, your mind, everyone's mind is important, because mind is there to recognize them. This much only you know in his theory of immaterialism. And in that book, treatise concerning the principles of human knowledge, in that book he again advocated or stated that nothing exists outside the mind. The same thing which I just said earlier, that nothing exists or nothing can exist outside our mind. Our mind is seeing those things. If anything exists in the outer world, those things exist in our mind only. Those things' existence depends on our mind. Our mind is recognizing them. Our minds have the capability, or my mind has the capability to recognize those material things. That's why they are existence. Otherwise, they do not have any existence, separate existence independent of our mind. Okay, then and in another book, his another book, Three Dialogues Between Hylas and Philonas. In that book also, he has said another influential remarks of Barclay's, his own actually. What is that? He said that world's existence on depends on being perceived. That is, if anything is to be there, it is to be perceived by someone. If you say that there is a pain in my hand, according to Berkeleyan theory, that means it is to be perceived by someone. It is that is, I am perceiving this. That means, according to Berkeley, to be means to be perceived by someone, at least someone. Suppose I say there is a table in the room, and no one could not see that table. Then, according to Bart, there is no table in the room, because he said that our mind is everything. We are everything. We are seeing this table. That's why that table has existence. Otherwise, that table has no existence. Okay. So, according to Berkeley's theory of immaterialism, what we understood is that everything is our mind. Mind give values to matters, otherwise material substances do not have any existence. Now we move next idea of Berkeley. Berkeley, why he did not accept the material world? Now, there is a question. There comes this question. That question arises because you know that Berkeley was a bishop, was selected as a bishop. That means he belongs to Christian community, and according to Christianity, God is most powerful. God is omnipotent. We all know that God is omnipotent, God is omniscient, God has a power, God has transcendental being, and God has created everything. Everything has been created by God. This earth, this moon, this sun, me, books, chair, table, everything has been created by God. As Berkeley believes in this theory and believes in this idea, and according to him, God is everything. That is why he do not gave any importance to power, to matter, and he clearly said that matters do not have any power. If we say that matters constitute the world, matters constitute everything, matter has created the whole world, us, everything, then where is God? Then Berkeley will ask, where is God? Where is the role of God? Because God is everything. God has created everything. So you cannot admit matter. That's why Berkeley did not give any value to matters, and he did not accept the matters as being, as substances, and he only said that God is there, God has created everything, and then we are there. Suppose God has created this world, and our mind is there to recognize this world. God has created the earth, and we are there to use this earth. God has created the tree, and we are there to, our mind is recognizing them. Minds are there to recognize those things. So according to Berkeleyan theory, so everything independent of our mind, which we say they exist, but according to him they do not exist. If our mind see those things, they are existing. If our mind do not see those things, they do not exist at all. Okay, then today what we learned, what we saw that Berkeley established this theory of immaterialism, and to do this, he just denied the material substances independent of our mind. He has said that mind is everything, and again he said that to be means to be perceived. To be means if there is to be anything in the world, means that thing is being perceived by someone. There is a pain, means that pain is being perceived by someone. Okay, then two lines we have got here. One is there are no such existence called material substances, as another one is to be means to be perceived. We will have question in your question paper. Explain this line, to be means to be perceived. Okay, you will have questions, so you will have to go through these theories, and you will have to write whatever I just say. That only you will have to write. Okay, and last thing I would mention here, that to establish materialism or subjective idealism, Berkeley did three things, three refutation. I would rather I would say. First, he refuted the Locke's idea of substratum or representationalism. You know. What is representationalism? Locke talked about representationalism and what the theory is all about. I will discuss in my next videos, but for now, for today, you just know that he refuted the Locke's theory. He refuted Locke's theory of representationalism. For what? To establish his theories. Okay, because it is going against his theories. And number two, he just refuted the distinction between primary and secondary qualities. As you all know, that Locke has said that there are two kind of qualities, one is primary quality and another one is secondary qualities. An object has two kind of qualities, primary and secondary, but Berkeley has said that there are no such distinctions, primary, secondary, no such distinction. He did not admit those that distinction, and he refuted that distinction. And number three, he just refuted the abstract ideas. According to him, as I said earlier, according to him, matters do not have any power, and the idea of matter is just the abstract ideas. What is called abstract? Abstract is something which we cannot understand easily, which we cannot grasp easily. Okay, so for now, we just learned that to establish immaterialism, he refuted Locke's theory, he refuted Locke's distinction of qualities, and he refuted the abstract ideas. And first we learned that he completely denied the existence of material world. He just gave value to our mind, and he has said that God has created everything and our mind is there to recognize everything. If our mind do not see anything, there are no such world, there are nothing in the world. Okay, so for now, for today, this much only. If you have any question, please ask me. I will come live also Gmail, through Gmail. I will ask your question, and this way I will make videos, and please just go through the videos because I'm preparing for you only. So just give value to these videos, and if you have any question, you can ask me anytime or class time. Okay, so stay well. Thank you very much.